my daughter's sitting behind me while I'm filming, and she's playing with her kitchen from Gabby's dollhouse. It's just a little plastic outdoor kitchen. She really loves it. So, in case you're wondering what my secret is to gardening with my kids, I just include them, and it does take longer, but it really works out. So, if you hear a lot of noise in the background, that's why. But I wanted to get on here and show this, because this is the difference between blackberry plants. Now, what I'm showing is the beginning stage of where I usually start when transplanting these. I have these blackberry plants, and they're amazing. And at the beginning of spring, they start popping up all of these tiny little plants down by their roots everywhere. And I've already picked them all, so I don't have any to show you that are popping out of the ground, but I have made videos about it in the past. And what I do is literally pop out that plant with a little bit of root, or you can grab just a plant and part of the plant and stick it in the ground and it'll grow. But this one is a good example. I just put it in here like 3 minutes ago, so it's not gonna hurt. It just has this tiny little root at the bottom, a little root here, hardly anything else. You can't even really see in the camera. And I just poked a hole and stuck it in the middle and put soil around it. And believe it or not, this will develop roots and it will grow very rapidly into this plant. And these little nodules at the top of the plant are actually leaves that are about to start popping out of this. So it's really that simple to propagate your blackberry plants. And these are all thornless variety. And this is one that already had leaves when I took it out of the ground. And it was really small and tender, and I just popped it into the dirt and left the leaves on because the leaves were small and it was a new plant. And it was really easy. That's it. I'll just let this grow. But I do want to kind of show how this turns out after a little bit of growing, and I'll show you some of the roots. So it starts off with what is hardly any root system whatsoever, and then I'm dropping soil all over the ground. Look at that. What a mess. And it starts developing all of this root system. So all of these roots are from this one plant. And it started off just like the other one with hardly any roots. And then it's been about 2.5, 3 weeks. And this is what it looks like. It may be a little bit longer now, but it has been less than a month. And that's it. If you drop too much soil, you can always add to it. No big deal. It does happen. But I wanted to get on here and show what these little plants are doing. Not just to show it off, but for my own record keeping. Because it's nice when I look back and I see what worked and what didn't work. And see the growth of the plants. Because it gets discouraging when you're growing in your own garden and you don't see the growth constantly right in front of your face. But I think filming and vlogging is a really good way to kind of capture the growth every week that's happening in the garden. And I'll show you, my blackberry plants are really close. They're all these plants in these 2 garden beds that are on this trellises. And technically they don't need to be trellis, but they get so big and so heavy that I just prefer to do that. And then this black can that's right in the middle, it looks like a trash can. It's probably what I was intended for. But what I actually do is when I get all the grasses out of the beds during the winter, I put it in there. And then once it's stuffed full, I take it into the chicken coop. And I'll either use the dry grass as bedding, or I'll give it to them and let them eat it. Which they eat their bedding anyway, so it works out. And that's it. So from my front porch is just a few feet to the blackberry beds. It's really easy for me to pick them out and bring them up here and propagate them. And before too much longer, this little plant will be a full-grown plant just like the rest of them. So it's really simple to propagate your own blackberry plants. You just pull them out of the ground. You can also just stick the end of the plant while it's still attached to the plant. Just pull a couple leaves off and shove the branches into the ground, and they'll actually produce roots, and you can cut it off in about 3 weeks and have another blackberry plant. So it's pretty easy to grow. Hope this gives you some ideas, and I hope this encourages you guys to get out there and grow your own blackberry plants, because it's really so easy that I have all of these growing right here.